All right, welcome. Welcome to the Dre Clark Comedy Invasion presents the No Apology Podcast. This is episode 54 of the No Apology Podcast, and this episode is called The Discussion. It's called Discussion because I got a guest with me today on my podcast. I usually don't, I usually be here talking to myself and doing different characters and shit because I'm crazy like that. But that's just me. Being an introvert in me, I like to talk to myself. But before we get to it, as always, the No Apology Podcast is brought to you by Blackfish Malt Liquor. Brewed in the motherland, made for the brother man, not for the other man. Blackfish Malt Liquor, the blackest malt liquor on earth. Throw your fist up. And also brought to you by their product, Do It Fluid. Do It Fluid will get you in the mood when you're with your lady. It's a shot of Do It Fluid, and you can do it all night. Do It Fluid. And an update on Do It Fluid, because I know one of my last episodes, Willie Earl Green, one of the spokesmen for Do It Fluid, the black 70s exploitation star, got shot in the ass by his girlfriend, Bessie May, of the Grandma School of Obedience, another one of my sponsors. It was all on tape and I had on there. He's okay. He's recovering. I'm gonna have him on soon. He's gonna talk about, the whole incident with him and Bessie May. I heard they're trying to work things out. He was fucking with my aunt Clarence, also a spokesman for Do It Fluid. My aunt be trying to holler at them young bitches all the time, man. He got Willie Earl on some and got Willie Earl shot, man, because trying to mess with one of them young girls, man. And Bessie May caught him, shot him in the ass. But I'm gonna talk to him soon. And also brought to you by the Drake Wacko Products present the Dre Clark Booty Workout. Are you lacking in the back end? Do you have flatty cakes and trying to turn to fatty cakes? Does your pumps have no bump? Well, have no fear. The Dre Clark Booty Workout is here. Like the motto says, I can put an ass on any lass. That's hey fellas, a great Valentine's Day gift. Your girl need help with the gluteus maximus and needs some ass. The Dre Clark Booty Workout is here to put some ass on. I can tell you, I can put an ass on the broad, man. I got an eating and workout regimen that will get her right. I'm trying to tell you, man. I've been studying booty for years. Like I always say, the first ACC, the Veda Cook back at Rolfe Middle School, man, she got the first ACC ever. That's history right there. That's trivia. I'm trying to tell you, I know my booty. I may not know my lesson, but I knew my booty though. All right, let's get into the podcast. This podcast is called The Discussion, and I'm having a discussion with probably one dude I've been knowing for a long time. High school football, played with him. This brother one who sparked the idea for me to start a podcast, and I recorded the first 4 podcasts in his basement, the Black Squirrel Studios. I dubbed the name. So, he got the Black Squirrel Studio stuff. I need some residuals. The Black Squirrel Studios. And this brother is one who sparked the idea, told me I should do it. I scored the first 4 podcasts in his basement. Then I got my own equipment and I've been rolling ever since, man. It's episode 54. Episode 54. So this brother here, hey man, he's an intelligent brother. He got his PhD, I think, from Louisville. So University of Louisville. This brother, this is man, look, he got his Punch Junkie morning cast out in Hustle World News. I don't know if I'm getting it all right, but his brother got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, he's big with the boxing, man. He's big in the boxing world. Man, y'all got to see his live cast he does every Thursday. Every Thursday at 9 o'clock. All Hustle No Luck live cast. Got to check it out. Y'all want y'all to give a big round of applause for a brother that I know, a brother that, I've been knowing for years. Well, give it up. I know him as Big Cal, but y'all may know him as Junior the Truth. Let's give a round of applause for Junior the Truth.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, brother, man. I'm so glad, man, you had me on the platform, bro. I couldn't wait to get in here into the No Apologies podcast. To salute to you, family. I see you working, and I'm honored, bro.
I had to have you on here. Like I told myself, 2019, I'm gonna have more guests. So, working with this technology, I'm gonna have more guests to come. I like talking to myself though, but we need guests and talk and get some discussion out there. And there's one of the topics we're gonna talk today. Discussion. We just talk about a bunch of topics. A topic that I seen and it hit me because with Killer Mike and between DJ Envy and Killer Mike when he was on the Breakfast Club and Killer Mike, they had this debate about private schools and public schools. But one of the things that Killer Mike said that really hit me when he said that how black people don't love their home. I think, we're taught to hate ourselves. Like everything, like you ever hear somebody just diss HBCUs or go to a black business, they diss it, and man, they ghetto in there. They got bad service, like they don't get bad service anywhere else. But on the black side of town, it's like they go to a black business and get bad service one time, they abandon the black business forever. But they can go to the Koreans, get talked about, they talk in their language, talk shit about you, motherfuckers treat you like shit, but they'll keep going. And it's just crazy to me how, a lot of our black people don't love themselves, man, or just and anything that's black, they hate it. And I don't know if hate is the word, but it's just I can't explain it, man. But I was just feeling what he's saying because me being an HBCU grad, Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio, across the street from Wilberforce University, another HBCU. I hear a lot of people would talk so much shit about Central State and dog Central State, and just talk about it and everything. But I heard this one guy said, "Man, that's 13th grade. All they do is smoke weed up there. Like they don't smoke weed at UD, Wright State, and all them other universities, all them PWIs. Like they don't smoke weed at them universities. Shit, they smoke weed, doing pills, and what the fuck ever. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's college students. What the fuck they do? They party, drink, smoke, do drugs. Shit, it's an experimental time in your life. That's what they do. So don't just act like it's just that Central State. But it's a lot of influential people that went to HBCUs, and I think black people don't support HBCUs. Like with Harvard and all them, the alumni support and put money back into it. You'll hear a nigga represent, oh, I went to Howard, I went to Morehouse and shit. But Howard University went a fucking whole semester without phone service at one point in time, that should never happen. That should never happen with all these Negroes that went to this university. You should put money back into it. And I always said, man, I would always get money back to Central State. I give what what I can, because I got the baby mama Navient, her ass, she taking some of my funds I can get to Central, but I try to give back, man, because that's the university. I love my HBCUs. Because at one point in time, people don't understand, all black people had was HBCUs to go to. They wouldn't let them play for Ohio State and Alabama, shit, especially SEC schools. Shit, they wouldn't let you play down there. So all they had was like the Jackson States and the Mississippi Valley States, which produced a lot of athletes. Jerry Rice went to Mississippi Valley State. Walter Payton went to Jackson State. So I don't understand like how we don't support HBCUs, man. And I want to get Junior's take on this whole thing and how why do it seem like black people don't like their own or support their
own? Man, I think it's a very interesting question. It also for me, that's right in my wheelhouse. Coming from where we're from in Dayton, Ohio, more affectionately the West Side. It's one of those things where, and not just Dayton, Ohio, the West Side, but just in general, in our culture, man, we came up in a time where there was this concept, I think, and the concept was it was ingrained in us. The concept was, I gotta get myself together. I gotta make it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make it. And so the question in that can be asked is, what is making it? And what making it was basically to get yourself to quote unquote, to use the old age adage, to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, to pull yourself up. Sorry about that. To pull yourself up by the bootstraps and to leave, you know what I'm saying, where you're from, to leave, you know what I'm saying, to go to college, to go away, to get out of the neighborhood and to make it out of the neighborhood. Like that was the whole goal, was to go to college, you know what I'm saying, or, go to the military or do whatever to make a living for yourself, to get yourself in a situation where you can make a living for yourself and to get out of the neighborhood. So that was ingrained in us, man. And so what did we do? Those of us who, a lot of us, I won't say those of us, a lot of us went to college, you know what I'm saying, got credentialed or whatever, maybe didn't get credentialed. Some of us went and, played sports and became professional athletes or whatever. Some of us, went to the military got a career in the military, or a career in the military, and then a career post military, whatever the case may be. And then what did we do? We moved away to different areas, suburbs, or places that places that we looked at as nicer areas. You know what I'm saying? Instead of coming back and going out and getting our credentials, going out and gaining access to different resources and so on and so forth, and bringing those resources back. You know what I'm saying? That was not ingrained in us. You know what I'm saying? We actually have always, in my opinion, or I can speak from my experience, I've been filled with the notion of making it was to get yourself together, to gain access to resources, and go put your family and your kids and so on and so forth in an area that's quote unquote safe, in an area that is nice, in an area where you have access, so on and so forth, instead of getting those resources and taking those resources home, in my case, to the west side of Dayton, Ohio, and using, my monetary purchasing power, using my influence, using me as an educator, using my knowledge in the field of education to inflict change in my area. You know what I'm saying? I miss that whole shit, bro. I miss that whole shit. And I know for me to go out and and I'm just gonna be honest, I'm one of the brothers who went and I got a house in the suburbs. I live damn near an hour away from where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I rarely go back. I won't say rarely go back. I go back, but I don't go back like I need to. You know what I'm saying? And me knowing what I know now, I would do the shit totally different. You know what I'm saying? But the thought is, I do have a family. I do have a wife and children. Where I grew up has become desolate. You know what I'm saying? It has become barren in resources, and it was very strategic. You know what I'm saying? And I understand what's going on and what's at play on a larger scale. And had I had it all to do over again, paying the money that I paid for my house, bro, I would go to where I grew up at and I would purchase up some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I would be there.
You could probably buy the whole damn block.
Yeah.
I've been at this brother's house. God damn, I came home grateful. I've been in this brother's house and shit. Came home grateful, just cussed my whole house out. But I'm telling you though, man, like I just feel like a lot of people do, like, you get a lot of people, I'm moving out of Dayton. It's instead of just, man, won't you come and help build, man? This is your neighborhood. Like I always say, man, and I heard Chuck D say this. He said, man, if your city's not jumping, that's because you are not jumping. It's on your fault. We are the people that got to make things go. Instead of sitting talking about ideas and stuff, or people want to post everything they do. Just do it. Just go out there and do it. You see a void, go ahead and fill it. I was taught. That's what I do. I never thought I'd been in education. I was the furthest from education. But once I got into it, and you see, and you work with the kids every day, see the mindset. It will. You can't help but to be affected by that. Like, damn, you think like, damn, this is our future. Because I did middle school, so I saw a lot of stuff. Like a lot of kids can't write, or it's just crazy, man. Can't spell. You in 7th grade, 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you can't spell. Like it's crazy, man. Like they need help. So I guess that was my calling to come back and help. But I just feel like a lot of people just down their own shit, man. Especially being here, you can see it in the sports teams. A lot of people will hate Ohio State. It's like, you're from Ohio. You know that, right? like, you know what I'm saying? But you hate everything that, I just don't get people in that. Like, why do you hate your own, man? Especially with doing the comedy. Man, I get people will bug me to death about when my next show. I posted and everything, then they don't show. Then see them, oh, man, they got some excuse. I didn't see it, man. Look, but with me, I don't give a shit because I'm going to do my thing regardless. Whether you come or not, I'm going to do my thing regardless. But I just feel like, man, a lot of people just down their own shit, man. Like, you motherfuckers talk real bad about Central State, man. I done heard so many things. People talk bad about Central State, turn their nose up real quick at Central State. And it's like, why, man? This is us. You know what I'm saying? We got to be our biggest cheerleaders. That's one thing I did learn by doing this comedy. You have to be your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader, your biggest hype man. Regardless, you got to support your shit. You don't let nobody talk bad about your shit, and then especially don't do it in front of other cultures, the other people, other ethnicity groups. Don't talk bad about black people in front of white people. No, don't do that shit, man. You don't do that.
It's the code.
Yeah, man. You got to be your biggest cheerleader, your biggest hype man in the world, man. And sure, I'm the biggest cheerleader hype man for black people. I'm pro-black, don't mean I'm against other races. I just love my people. I really do. And I want to see them do better. That ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
I'm against other races. Huh? I'm against other races.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing against it. It's just, man, I want to see black people. I want to see everybody win. That's just me. I know reality, everybody can't win, but I want to see people succeed, be successful, man, and stuff, man, or reach their goals. That's what I'm about, man. I'm the people's bigger cheerleader, especially if you from Dayton, especially the West Side where I'm from, and you doing something, you trying to survive. Hey, man, I'm support you. I'm support you, big fan. I may not buy from you, but hell, I will post it on my page. That's just what I'm about, man. And it's like a lot of people ain't like that. You get a lot of people, I'm moving out of Dayton, this and that. Won't you stay and try to help? That's the problem now, man. We just got people that will just move the fuck out, move away, But then again, I know the circumstances, and I know the stuff here. You can't get a job. I understand. Believe me, I understand. Because I've been trying to get with Montgomery County for a long time. They're like, you got to give a blood sacrifice just to get on down there. I understand, but Dayton, man, I want to see it better because I live here. I'm from here. I grew up here. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see, the west side of Dayton look like the way it does. It's a damn shame that we got to go east of town and south of town just to spend our money for our entertainment dollars. Why do we have to leave when you got to, when you have people over here, you got to go way 20, 30 minutes on the side of town just to spend your money. And they don't even want you out there. Like I always tell a story when I got pulled over at Alston Landing around my birthday last year, and the cop asked me, "What am I doing out here?" I'm looking at him like, "What the fuck you mean what I'm doing out here?" You know what I'm saying? Like last time I checked, I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. I can go where the hell I want to. It's just, man, I just want to see people take pride in this shit, man. It's like I think we lost that, man. I think a lot of people make money and they just, they content. Like I always said, man, I think if the bus boycott was these days, this day and time, man, a lot of niggas would be happy sitting on the back of the bus with big Kool-Aid smiles. Wouldn't even care. We'll ask you, what would that do? What would that accomplish? That'll be the first thing they will ask you. And it's like sad, like they want to see that we're not unified with stuff no more, man. You see, everybody want to talk about, well, my thing is you see Jewish people, they stick together. You see, shit, them Arabs come over here to set up one of them extra lemon pepper ass spots over here, and they'll take their money back to their community. That's what we need to do. Fuck all that trying to simulate, man. We need to get ourselves together. We need to get ourselves together before we can go anything. That's like the old saying. You got to get your shit together before you can help anybody else or before you can do anything else. And I think as black people, that's what we need to do. We need to get our shit together first. Like I said, there's no way. I remember when I grew up, when somebody said, I'm going to the mall, you knew what mall they was going to. The Salem Mall in Trotwood. You weren't going to no Green, no Dayton Mall. You're going there. And it's like, Trotwood should not look the way it does. Trotwood look like a scene out The Walking Dead, man. It look like some backdrop, man. All you need is tumbleweeds in Trotwood right now. It should not look like that. Like, it should not be like that. No stores. Burlington just left. It should not look like that, man. And it's like, we got to do something about it and reverse this trend. I understand what's going on, closed the hospital over here, which Good Sam was the hospital I was at when I had my heart attack because it was the closest. I'm just thinking if I had my heart attack and I had to go to Grandview, which is about five more minutes or 10 more minutes down the road, I probably wouldn't be here. So that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't look like this over here, man. And I just think it's sad though. So also what Big Mike talked about was public. Him and Envy had a debate about public school and private school. Envy sent his kids to private school because he talked about the curriculum and all that. And then Mike was like, I said my kids public schools, I pay taxes. The thing is, it's not enough. Being in the school system is not enough parents that's involved. You got some parents that's involved, but you got some parents that just don't give a shit, and it's just a daycare for them. You know, I feel like with you being in education and me, and you, because you get them later in life when they, like you said, when they done work the factory jobs and that factory job kicking their ass, and they realize I got to do something better. And there's nothing wrong with factory work. I'm not saying that. My granddad worked in the factory, 27 years. Shit, my granddad died on the factory floor at Delco, where we're at the Racino at now. He died on the floor, had a heart attack on the floor. So, you know, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with factory jobs, because that helped a lot of black people. Because, you know, being from Dayton, GM Truck and Bus Plant, hell, I'm being modest when I say this. You had at least 5 family members that worked at that motherfucker or worked with Delco. And you know I ain't lying. I'm just being, and that's just a modest number, because it's probably more than that. Mm-hmm. So, you being in education, like the public school system, what are your thoughts about the public school system and where it's at right now?
I think the public school system, especially, it's really truly, to be honest, man, you have different, there's like 2 different public school systems, man, or really more than that. There are multiple public school systems. You know, you have the public school systems that are located, you know, in the desolate areas. So, you know, the Dayton public schools, the Cincinnati public schools, you know, so on and so forth. Then you have public school systems that are located in the areas that are affluent. You know what I'm saying? The areas where there are more resources. You know, also, you know, the community schools where, you know, there's, you know, they have like a small city or you know, a specific area that is the public school system, and all of the schools, you know, report to that, and they have varying resources and stuff like that. And then you also have to account for the charter schools, you know what I'm saying? Because charter schools, a lot of people don't know that, but charter schools are public schools as well. And we have an onslaught and the influx of charter schools. So that is charter school. So like the public school system is you know, it's different. It varies. I think for me, I think the public school system is broken. I think the entire educational system in our country specifically is broken. I think that there are too many variations in education. And there are too many variables, rather, excuse me. There are too many variables in education. There are too many things that vary from place to place. You know what I'm saying? There's not a universal checks and balances in place with regard to education. And you get, you know, and they try to implement, you know, something universal, but they do that through standardized tests, which is not good. You know what I'm saying? Because now what we have is educators that are teaching specifically for the standardized testing, you know what I'm saying, and not maximizing, you know, the educational impact on said children, you know what I'm saying, on the individual children. And I think once you take the individuality out of education, is where we start to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Once you do not give the child the individual attention that they need, we start to fuck up. And so we have these school systems where it is virtually, literally impossible, you know what I'm saying, to give these children their individualized attention that they need. It is much easier to categorize these children. It is much easier to you know, deny these children you know, the certain accesses, you know what I mean, to different resources and different ideas and concepts and so on and so forth. It's just different. So, like, for example, my daughter is in she's in pre-K. Okay, she goes to pre-K. They have so many resources at her school. It's ridiculous. They have recently, and I'm just talking about what they had. So they do field trips, but they do field trips without leaving the building. So what they do is they bring different, organizations or people or whatever in to do events, and these events are field trips. So they'll have the zoo come in with animals. You know what I'm saying? They bring animals to my daughter's school. So my daughter's in there, and they have like leopards and cheetahs and snakes and birds and all this stuff. They bring them in for the children. You know what I'm saying? That a scientist last week who came, he did all kinds of scientific experiments for these pre-K, put on a big show for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Just so that they can understand different concepts, the concepts of the elements of, wind, earth, fire, the earth, wind, and fire, the real shit. So anyway, then I look at what my oldest daughter did, you know what I'm saying, in her pre-K experience. Now I got to tell the truth, because I got to tell the truth about myself. Financially, shit was different when my oldest daughter was in pre-K. You feel me? Didn't have as many resources, Drake Clark. You feel me? It wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? My baby had the, you know what I'm saying? My baby had the goddamn, the tried and true experience. You feel me? And she did her pre-K at a public school, you know what I'm saying, in Dayton public schools. And her experience was different. Now, it was a good experience for the, for what it was, but it's totally different from what my youngest is experiencing. And I just think that, you know what I mean, that in and of itself indicates that there's something broke in the educational system. You know what I'm saying? Now, for me, I work in higher ed. So what I do is I get it on the back end. So after these students have gone through whatever they've experienced in secondary education meaning high school. So once they, they go through the PK through 12 experience, they've experienced whatever they experience, then I have the esteemed pleasure of dealing with these motherfuckers when they come and they're broken, or they come and they have this stigma associated with them, or they come and they have this plan in place, you know what I'm saying, or so on and so forth. They have this IEP or whatever the case may be. It's a mess. You know what I'm saying? And I can automatically, my first interaction with a student, when they first walk in my office, based on my first interaction with them, I can tell what kind of school they went to. I can tell if they went to a school in the inner city. I can tell if they went to which is one of those desolate school systems. I can tell if they went to a charter school, you know what I'm saying, or some sort of specialization school, you know what I'm saying? Because even within the public schools, they still have like specialized schools that get more resources than the other ones, which I still don't understand that shit, but okay, you know what I'm saying? And then I see students who come from affluent public school systems or private schools or whatever the case may be, and I can tell the difference, like just based on my interaction with them. But I'm gonna say this: the problem, once again, is that the educational process is it is rarely individualized now, and on top of all that, we have gone away from the holistic development of our students. We call it, in my field, chickering. Chickering is basically the hope. We worry about the entire development of a student. You understand what I'm saying? We've gone away from that, and what we've created is just these droids or drones or whatever you want to call them, that are designed specifically to go score at a certain level on a standardized test. That's not going to help them with shit. You know what I'm saying? Period. And so that's kind of, I just think that's just kind of how fucked up the school system is. I think Killer Mike is right. You got to be out of your goddamn mind to pay money and taxes in a school system and not send your kids to that school and not do the things that you need to do to be sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do in that school system. Like, you got to be out of your mind to pay school taxes, or excuse me, to pay taxes for Dayton public schools, and are not in there ensuring and doing your part to make sure that and see what your tax dollars are doing. What work is being done with your dollars? You got to be out of your mind, man. You have to be out of your mind. Period.
Yeah, you do. And I say this too. I think we need to bring back vocational schools too, man. They need to be back, because everybody cannot go to college. All right, it's impossible. Like, it's just like it's love thy neighbor, love everybody. You can't love everybody. I mean, it's just impossible. I know that the Bible says it, You know, you can tolerate people, you can like them, but you're not gonna love everybody. That's just possible. I think, we need stuff like plumbing, welders. Go get you a trade. It's a lot of kids. I used to encourage them, go get a trade, man. You still gonna have to know arithmetic, reading, and writing, but you don't have to go to school and wait and get in debt, basically. Go get in debt. When you can go to a trade school, get that trade, and you can go out and make some money, man. Because people are always gonna need HVAC people. I mean, that's always gonna be around. I just feel like they just try to steer the kids like it's college and that's it. If you don't go to college, you're just gonna be fucked up. That's basically what it has been. Being in a charter school, especially in Ohio, man. There's some good charter schools. It's here in Dayton, Deca Prep. Deca's a good charter school. But it's a lot of them, especially the one I used to teach at. So yeah, I'm gonna talk shit about it. Man, they just there for the money. They get $7,000 per kid. That's all they worry about. Basically, you just a big babysitting service. They don't give a damn if them kids learn or not. It is something the students they used to accept. And I'm like, did you really think this kid could function here? We don't have the resources to help this child. So why would you allow this parent to enroll the kid in here knowing that we don't have the resources for him? And just to get that money, just to get that $7,000, man, that head count. And like me and another guy, Mr. Gales, Pastor Gales, we started the basketball team. I came out of my own pocket for this basketball team. I had a superintendent guy. He's full of shit. Yeah, he's full of shit, dude. Talking about, he went to University of Kentucky and he know John Calipari and he's gonna get the owner of the school to pay for the uniforms. And I ended up paying for the shit. And I ended up putting my money down for the uniform. Then the parents, we got together, we asked for a little fee. But man, we didn't have a gym, so we had to find a place to practice and all this, man. And it's crazy that how the school didn't put in on it. And for games, man, I'm taking 6 to 7 kids home every night into the games. And then what's so crazy about it is, it's some parents I never seen before in my life. I don't even think the kid had parents. I think the shit, they just, I don't know. But it's crazy how you deal with some, like these school districts, man, they have all the resources in the world, man. And you could tell, man, and you tell like their parents, when I started coaching at Beaver Creek, oh my God, man, it was like night and day. I didn't have to take a kid home. I didn't know how to act. After practice, I get to go home by myself. I ain't got to go stop over here on Euclid and shoot and Huron and fucking Maya. I'm tripping like, wow, man, this is totally different. Game days, they will feed the kids, man. They have, I mean, they eating city barbecue, Olive Garden. I'm like, man, when we had the basketball team at the charter school, man, I'm coming out of pocket buying pizza, the parents helping. Man, it's crazy how involved the parents were, the parent involvement. You got some parents to be involved, but it's like when I was out in the suburb district, how every parent is involved, every parent at the game. They come to the game, they come to the practices. When we had the charter school, man, I know the 4 or 5 parents that was gonna come all the time. There's some parents, like I told you, we had 10 games plus the tournament games, practices. And some parents I've never seen in my life. I still don't know what some of these parents look like. And that's crazy. I'm with your child all this time, taking them home, but you ain't come out to meet me like, hey, who's this guy and this and that. And it's just crazy, man, when you see the difference. When I went from the charter school, inner city charter school, to out in the suburbs, how it's night and day, man. Like in Beaver Creek, man, the kids get a fucking iPad. All of them get a fucking iPad. Shit, I'm at this charter school, they sharing damn Chromebooks. We had to share them. And it's just so crazy, like the disparities. Like, wow, man, they got this, and that. And then the charter school always, basically, you dealing with these kids, they unruly and stuff. Oh, it's the teacher's fault. You just an ineffective teacher. Then when they act a fool with the administration, then they want to suspend them. But he can cuss me out and want to threaten to fight me all day. But as soon as he threatened the administration, now all of a sudden it's a problem. But you still don't kick the kid out. We had a boy, man, got in 7 fights in the first 2 months of school, hit a teacher. The boy still didn't get suspended, which is so crazy because they want to keep that head count. All they worried about is that money, man. In the charter school system, and it's like, if you're not involved as a parent, if you're not involved in your kids, man, don't get on Facebook talking shit about teachers or talking about how terrible the school system is if your ass ain't involved. Okay, I don't want to hear none of that shit because a lot of y'all ain't involved. A lot of y'all involved on Facebook or on social media. Y'all post that shit, but a lot of y'all do not discipline your kids. You do not spend time with your kids. So what? You buy them some fucking Jordans. You need to buy them a goddamn speaking spell because the motherfucker can't spell. That's what you need to do. And it's so disheartening how they always want to blame the teachers, but damn, man, I shouldn't have to teach a kindergarten how to spell their name. Like that is not a teacher job. I should have to teach a kindergarten how to tie their shoe. Shit like that starts at home. Okay, you named the motherfucker. Won't you teach him how to spell his damn name? And that used to bug me out all the time, though. And then at our kindergarten graduation, we got half the parents coming in smelling like a pound of reefer. Like, damn, man, like. It's sad, man. The public school system, being in it and seeing the charter schools, how they work, it's sad, man. And then, going to Beaver Creek and you see the disparities, how it's like night and day, man. It's so crazy, man. The involvement of the parents. And like I said, man, racism did a lot of things, but racism doesn't prevent you to teach your kids how to show respect to elders, show respect to somebody talking to adults, period.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. All right, man. Excuse me. Let's be real about the shit. We in a very, very difficult space, man. We're distracted. I feel a lot of distractions. The shit we doing is a distraction. You know what I'm saying? This social media shit is a distraction. People are just distracted. You know what I'm saying? And the distractions come off as a disinterest, you know what I'm saying, in the rearing and development of your children. You know what I'm saying? What more do you have to, or where do you need to be that's more important than being there with your children? Some of the time, like, I understand you got to work or so on and so forth, but even in think about our parents. We had parents, a lot of us grew up in single parent homes, shit like that. Parents I know my dad was there, you know what I'm saying? With games. My dad went to parent teachers conferences and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? My dad will come home early from work, you feel me, come change his clothes, put on a suit, and carry his ass to parent teachers conferences and talk to my teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I had events, when I had games and shit like that, and my dad couldn't make all the games, he sent a representative. You feel me? There was a representative there. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. I don't understand for the life of me people who your children are in the school with a teacher and you don't know the teacher. You've never seen the teacher. My kids' teachers, cuz I'm on their social media. You understand? I'm stalking them. You feel me? I'll be pulling up. I pull up their shit to see kind of affiliations. You know what I'm saying? What kind of, you liable to have somebody teaching your kids and they got a Facebook platform with swastikas and Confederate flags and all kind of shit going on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to fact check people. Anybody involved with my children, I had to fact check them. My daughter has finally gotten into sports, so she does. She did soccer, did basketball. Coach, I'm there. You feel me? Like, I'm there. Practices, I'm there. Games, I'm there. I can't have these people around my children without having a presence. And so people are just very, very distracted, and it's really truly unfortunate. But it just constitutes, though, kind of going back to the original point, was that people make time for what they value. You know what I'm saying? People make time for what they value. I had a partner, Vince says that all the time. People make time for what's important to them. You know what I'm saying? If you value something, you make time for it. You make time to sand your ass in the Facebook and see what the fuck's going on and be nosy as hell. You know what I'm saying? You make time to catch Love and Hip Hop, LA or Atlanta or wherever the fuck they at. You know what I'm saying? You make time to do all that little. You make time to go to the movies to see that whatever ratchet ass movie is coming out. You make time for that, but you don't make
dumbass Medea movies. Right. Medea barbecue, whatever stupid
right. Shit. Yeah, you want to go. You want to go see Big Man in the Dress. You know what I mean? You make time to go see Big Man in the Dress. You feel me? But you don't. But you won't make time to go and see about your children. You know what I'm saying? You don't make time to talk to your children every day. You know what I mean? You don't make time to, like, my family, bro. And man, fuck it. Like, every night, bro. Right? We cut the TV off. We sit at the table and we eat together, and we have a conversation. every night, bro. Every night.
That don't happen no more. That does not happen no more.
No TVs. Every now and again, I cut on music. You know what I'm saying? And we'll sit there and listen to some old school music or something and eat. You know what I'm saying? That's usually like on Fridays or something. We do this little goofy shit. My daughter likes to dance, so we say we having a dance party. So, you know, we dance around, you know, at night, you know what I'm saying, on Friday nights and shit like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we do a pizza night where we make pizzas. So, you know, we usually make pizzas and I'm playing the old ass Italian music. I know they racist, but you know, I play, you know, the old ass Italian music and the Morgan and all that bullshit, Frank Sinatra. God damn it, I did it my way. You know what I'm saying? But we talk to my daughter every day. How was school? What did y'all do? What's going on? Like, we sit down and we talk. My oldest daughter, because I have a 16-year-old, and she lives with her mom. You know what I'm saying? So when she's here with us, it drives her crazy because she's a teenager. You know what I'm saying? She wants to go off and do the social media shit and do, you know, her own little thing. You know what I mean? It's not, she's cool. She wants to be cool. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? We sit down and we eat. And here we're going to sit down and interact with each other. Yeah, baby, go put your phone up. You know what I'm saying? I made her put her phone down. That's the worst shit you can do to a teenager. You got to put your phone. You feel me? And we sit down and we talk. We laugh, we joke, we talk. Once nobody gets up without being excused, not even me. You know what I'm saying? And once it's over, then once dinner is over and we excuse each other, what usually happens is we didn't started enjoying each other so much, we really just go over to the family room and we sit down and we just continue it. You know what I'm saying? Or we go downstairs to the media room and watch a movie, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, or watch TV downstairs together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we're together.
Hey, hold on, nigga. You ain't just gonna slide that in. You hear how baller this nigga? We go to the media room.
Come on, bro.
Man, I can go to the room with the TV in. This nigga, I'm going to the media room. See that? God damn, man. I told you I go over his house, I feel ungrateful. It's two people I go to their house, feel ungrateful. Big Cal, Junior the Truth, my fault. Junior the Truth, and my boy Tony Parker. I'm doing a show at his house, man. That should let you know. I'm doing a show at this nigga's house. That should let you know already what the fuck ball of shit they on. But you kind of nigga slid in the media room. Man, shit. We going to the room with the TV. Goddamn it. You hear me?
He's sick, bro. So we, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, though, bro, like, what the fuck else you got to do but be with your children? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else you got to do? And like I said, ultimately, you know, people just don't see value there. People don't understand the value in your children. Like, I look at my children like on some real shit, though, bro. My children are my adornments. You understand? My wife is my adornment. Like, motherfuckers, you know, people will look at you and try to assess my life based on how I look. You know what I'm saying? Based on, you know, what I got. Nah, motherfucker, don't do that. You assess my life, assess how I'm living, assess the kind of man I am when you look at my wife, when you look at my children. You know what I'm saying? How good do they look? You know what I'm saying? Are my children looking all fucked up? You know what I'm saying? Does my wife look unhappy? You feel me? That's how you assess my life. You do that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not assessing my life that way, then you got it all wrong. You don't assess a man by what the fuck you. I could be out here in Armani suits and you know, big boy designer shoes and all that shit every day. I could drive a badass, you know, Benz and all kind of shit, man. And my family could be in here fucked up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I see it all the time. Over for DPNL, I'm going to somebody's house, man. They got fucking Escalades, Beamers, Benzes in the driveway, house big as shit. Got a fucking they sound system in their house with the TV sound like rave cinemas. But I'm cutting down for an $80 light bill. That's what used to bug me out all the time. Out in the affluent areas too, the so-called Oakwood, Beaver Creek, around these areas. Oh man, I'm cutting them a Centerville. Motherfuckers getting cut off all the time. Yeah, that shit all good on the surface. Well, inside, what's really going on? And that's what people need to understand. That's why, you know, when you see people on social media posting shit, and it's like, I be thinking of some cats like, man, you know, I really know you. Like, you can front all you want for them people. You can take your rent money and flash it like you're doing something, but people know, you know, some things you don't need to post, man. People really know you out here. And it's like, it's no need to front, man. Shit, if you're going through hard times, man, you ain't got to broadcast it. If you're going through good times, you won't have to broadcast it. Because I live a very public, private life. And it's like, I'm public on Facebook because of the comedy. Like I said, I'll be honest with people. If I didn't do comedy, man, I wouldn't probably be on social media because I don't care for it. The thrill's gone for me and all that. But I keep it because of the comment and the podcast. But sometimes, man, you just, I live a public private life. I do that because the comedy and stuff. But man, a lot of people don't know what's going on with me. I would never tell you unless you're one of my close friends. I talk to you on a regular, but you would never know because I'm not gonna post the shit. And I agree with you, man. I just see kids, they come to school, snot on their nose or clothes, the uniform all dirty and shit. But mama is fresh.
Michael Kors.
Oh, she slaying out here. Got the red bottoms on, got the designer purse, got the designer dress on and shit. But your kids looking like little ragamuffins. Like that don't make sense to me, man. Because I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up with it when my mom made sure, even though my parents got divorced, my dad was still around. And I tell people that, I know a lot of people, like dad ain't around, but my dad was still around, even though they got divorced. He still used to come get us, and we did all that. So he talked to us, and I think it's a lot of, because I deal with a lot of kids, especially when I started working with the smaller kids, K-3, man, they just want to talk. They just want you to somebody listen to them. I had a little girl come to me in first grade. She said, Mr. Clark, do you got kids? And I told her no. She's like, do you go places? I said, yeah, I go places. She said, can you take me to the movie? Because my parents don't take me nowhere. She said it. They don't take me nowhere. And it was like, damn, that's sad, though. This little girl, first grade, just, and I had another little girl ask me, will I be her stepdad? And all like this, man. I'm like, wow. Because, they just give them, the tablet, whatever, get out my hair. And I think like you do need to talk to your kids. So a lot of them smaller kids they just want somebody to listen to them. I mean, half time, they ain't talking about shit, but they want you to listen to them. It's just the fact that you there, okay, listening to them and interacting with them. And I think a lot of parents don't do that. It's just, I work. Everybody works. You got to make, like I said, you got to make time. People make time for stuff they want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact, man. And then too, let me cook on what we talked about earlier, or what you mentioned earlier, which was us not valuing our own stuff, man. One of the things that, and we've talked about this in private conversations, for all the good work that, civil rights did and desegregation did and all that kind of stuff, for all of the good stuff that happened, there was just as much bad stuff that happened as it relates to the social economic status of Black folks. The once things were desegregated, you know what I'm saying, and everything was, assimilated and integrated and all that. I mean, integrated. I'm sorry. Then came the assimilation phase where, instead of having our own stuff, we want to have what other groups of people have. Mm. In the pursuit of what other people have, automatically constituted the devaluing of our own. You see what I'm saying? So people started wanting to integrate schools, and I need to go over there with them folks because it's obviously got to be better over there. And then people were gravitating towards these public state institutions and devaluing the HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? So let me explain real quickly, just with regard to education and how this shit works in the higher educational capacity, in the higher educational institutions. It's not like public school, you know what I'm saying? It's not like elementary school or whatever the case may be. The students, because higher ed is a business, the students are customers. You feel me? Students are customers. So people think that these institutions, they get money because of federal funding and so on and so forth. That is a minimal amount of the money that they need for their operational expenses. They need students, and you only get said resources because of the students that you have. You know what I'm saying? Because of you get the federal funding based on the students. You know what I mean? Your enrollment, your retention, so on and so forth. There are just so many different things. So students put money into the institutions by attending the institutions. Once these other institutions became an option for students, for our students, Black students, and they gravitated towards those institutions and leaving the Tuskegees, leaving the Tennessee States, leaving the Central State Universities, you know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. And they start gravitating towards those other ones. then the resources became bearing at the HBCUs. It's how it works. You feel me? And so it's only, and then when you have, I mean, it's when you think about, you know, we'll use the University of Cincinnati, for instance. University of Cincinnati, it has for like the past, I think 3 years, they've broken their record for new student enrollment. So meaning each year the new student enrollment is increasing. So they're bringing in classes that are breaking the record from the year before. You know what I'm saying? Which is basically breaking the overall record of new student enrollment. You see what I'm saying? So they're getting those resources. Now, you have schools on the other side, like Wilberforce University, right up the street. Wilberforce University is about an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes from UC. Wilberforce University is struggling to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
You feel me? They're struggling to keep the doors open. And that's just the dynamic that's at play. And so for us, we have to begin to reevaluate the situation, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not saying go to a school, which I want to talk about the school stuff too, bro. But I'm not saying go to a school, you know, just because it's an HBCU. Like, they need to be held accountable as well. You feel me? But you can't hold the HBCUs to a different standard than you hold the PWIs, the predominantly white institutions. You understand what I'm saying? You can't accept bullshit from a PWI just because it's a PWI and shine the light on what goes on at the HBCU, because the same shit goes on. Just like you talked about the student behaviors. Students are going to get high, college students, they're going to get high, they're going to do dope, they're going to fuck. Like, that's what's going to happen. You feel me? That's what they do. That's the kind of experience. You feel me? That's what happens. And so they're gonna act out. They're gonna have behavioral issues. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have a if they're lucky, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna have a practitioner at the college who sees something in them, who's willing to pour into them, who's willing to hold them accountable and hold them to a standard of operation. Like me, I hold my students. Hold on, let me pause there. I hold certain students to a high level of accountability. Some students I don't give a fuck about. Some of them come in and I could give a fuck if you, bro. I look at them, you ain't gonna make it, bro. So you need to just hurry up and save your mom and them some money, bro. Now, I'm gonna say this, Drake, and then I just wanted to touch on this. You made a huge, very valid point when you talked about trade schools. Listen, higher ed, I do this spiel all the time when I talk about education. And I'm talking to parents and I'm talking to students. Okay, college is a beautiful thing. College changed my life. College did some remarkable things for me. I'm so glad I went to college. I can say the same thing for you, Drake Clark. But college was wonderful for me. College, I think, is not for everybody, though. I think college is wonderful, but it's not for everybody. Now, I think everybody should possibly try it or think about trying it. At least research and give some thought to it. But post-secondary education everybody needs some post-secondary education. Everyone needs something beyond high school. So you got to have some sort of skill. You got to have some sort of trade. You got to have some sort of field that you can get into to ensure that you can take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that students, you know, there's no problem with going to a trade school. The thing that I also think and I know is that parents have to have an understanding of college and how college works. Stop sending your kids to these institutions and you don't know what the fuck's going on. Stop letting these recruiters come and get you, come get your children and entice your children to come to their school. You know what I'm saying? Especially the private ones, even the public ones, or whatever the case may be. Stop sending your children to schools where you don't know how you're going to pay for it. You feel me? Like, you got to cut that shit out. But I think that it's important for students to look at all the options. Look at schools. Look at trade schools. Look at your community colleges. Look at what type of technical programs they have going on that you can get into, because a lot of those programs are going to allow you to make more money that you would if you went and got a master's degree. A prime example for me, I got a student who came in the doors, 18 years old. He wanted to go directly into welding. He came and got into 18-year-old. He went into the welding program at a 2-year institution. I was working at a 2-year institution at the time. He came in, got in the welding program, had the desire to work, you know, in welding. His grandfather was a welder, daddy was a welder, great granddaddy was a welder. He wanted to be a welder. He came in, got in the program. They happened to have a special program that was working in conjunction with Ford because of the big Ford presence that's down in that region. They had a specific program working with Ford. This little motherfucker got involved in that program. He came, he 2 years. He was 18 when he started, bro. He did a 2-year program. He was 20 when he was done. He came out of that program making $95,000 a year.
God damn.
Well, 20, bro. 20. 20. $95,000 a year, bro. Working, and he worked with and that was just his salary. You feel me? His family also had their own little welding business where they did little contracts and subsidiary contracts for other companies. So he worked and went and took that over too. This little motherfucker was rolling. He come see me, hey, Mr. Robinson, what's going on? I just bought my houseboat down in Cumberland. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker bought a houseboat. He got a house. He got cars that he wants. He's able to pour back into his family. He's taking care of his mama. And man, what?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But he had a plan. He had an understanding of exactly what it was that he wanted to do. He came in. He was actually Pell Grant eligible, so he could receive the federal Pell Grant. So he got his. So when you get a Pell Grant, that's the other thing people don't understand. When you get a Pell Grant, essentially you go to community college for free. You understand? Because community college has the lower cost. So you go there, in which if you don't have a scholarship, if you're not a full scholarship student, you or your children should be going to a community college anyway, because you get the same credentials for half the cost of a traditional school. And then if you still desire to go and get a bachelor's degree or something beyond an associate's degree, then you transfer your credits to a regular traditional institution. But you should always start off at a 2-year school if you don't have a scholarship. That's law. But dude, but like I said, he got his credentials for free. He ended up with an associate's degree and that specific certificate or whatever the case may be, and he went to work. He went to work.
He did go to work.
It's people. He went to work. It's people who got PhDs that don't make $95,000 a year, bro.
So enough.
Period.
I got a master's. I don't make that much, man. I'm about to rob this little nigga. Where this nigga said, "The hospital's a company." I'm about to get this. I'm messing with. But yeah, man.
But go ahead, bro.
I think a lot of kids don't get exposure to stuff like that. They don't know about this stuff. And that's what I used to try to do with my students, middle school students. Expose them to stuff, man. Like, the thing is, I help my students boost up their reading scores. And what I used to do was just teach them context clues. You know, that was the biggest thing. You know what these words mean, you just don't use them. Like, you see words on the test, you may not have saw this word before, but it mean the same thing. You know, you ain't never probably seen the word. Probably nobody in your family ever used the word furious, but it's the same thing as being man. Okay. It's just little things like that helps. You got to expand your vocabulary. You know, they help these kids boost up their reading scores, because it was like, I help these kids boost their reading scores by 30 percentage points, because you ain't never been exposed to the stuff like that. And a lot of kids never been exposed to a lot of these things. And it's like, you got to expose your kids to stuff, man. Like, when you was young, my dad used to take me and my sister, we used to go to Wesley Nature Trail. We used to do all types of stuff, man. You got to expose your kids to things so they know it's other opportunities. Like I always said, the world is bigger than your block. It's bigger than your block. You got to get your kids exposure. If you never expose your kids to nothing, they gonna think that's it. That, you know, what they're surrounded by is all it's ever gonna be. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, trade schools that you get you a CDL, man, listen, you can make some good money out there, man. You ain't always got to go to school. You don't always have to go to school, because college is not for everybody. I mean, a lot of people, you know, you probably can agree to this too. A lot of kids you've seen came to you, or people we went to college with who went off to a 4-year university and they wasn't ready. They weren't ready. You should have went to St. Clair first, a community college, a junior college. You're not. A lot of people are not ready. A lot of it got to do with a lot of people are not ready for that freedom, because you know you got a lot of people that grew up with strict parents, won't let them do nothing. Now they got that freedom. Shit, they up on that campus going buck fuck wild.
It's a fact. Losing their damn mind, man. Losing their
damn mind.
Man.
Shit, you got shit. They went up there. They fucking the Kappas, the Alphas, the Omegas, the Iotas, the Sigmas. They went wild. It's like because they're not used,
the professors.
Yeah, man. What's the music fraternity? Move something, wherever. They going wild, man. I done seen it a lot. We've seen, people that their parents won't let them do them. They get on that university, they get that freedom, they get on that campus. Go buck the hell wild. 9 times, then a lot of them flunk out. You went there and wasted that money. Well, you could have just took your ass to a community college, and you wouldn't be in so much debt now.
Mm-hmm. It's a fact. Yeah, it's a fact.
But yeah, man, it's being in education and you've seen it firsthand. It's just it's sad in a way. I mean, don't get me wrong, some good parents out there that come and own the kids and that, but we need more parent involvement, man, especially in the primary education range, man. Because like I said, we had kindergarten didn't know a lot of stuff. Like you should know how to count to 10 by the time you're in kindergarten and first grade, and just like I don't know what to say, man. It was just sad to see that every day. Like a lot of these kids don't know nothing because the parents ain't teach them nothing. But you can't blame, but the thing is, with some of their parents, they were never taught nothing. But somebody has to break the cycle. Somebody has to break it. And just to be dealing with it is heartbreaking, especially as people. It's like, damn, man, like how you not spend enough time with your kid to help them to teach them how to spell their name? Like, what are you doing in your life that you can't take time to teach your child the name that you named them to help them spell it? That used to bug me out all the time. Like that, to me, that was the craziest thing ever. And I don't know, man. It's just like I said, man. Education, man. Being in it, you seeing what it is, and then you see all the flack the teachers get. Like when Mr. Riley out in California whooped that boy's ass, I understood. Believe me, I understood because, like I told people, man, that happens every day. That's a common occurrence. It happens too often that these kids, especially the middle school, high school kids, they always want to challenge you and they want to step up to you. That happens all the time, man. I understood why he whooped that boy's ass. People like he should have did. He's an adult. He's an adult. Yeah, I'm an adult in the situation, but I got told this one girl one time. I said, so if your child come to you and told you shut the fuck up, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna beat his ass. Thank you, exactly. Or your child come up and pushes you, what are you gonna do? So just think you dealing with 20 to 25 kids, 30 sometimes kids in the classroom, and you got a few of them won't talk shit to you and throw stuff at you and threaten you, come to you in a threatened manner. What are you gonna do? I have the right to defend myself. I don't give a damn if you're a child. Like I used to tell them, man, you hit me, I'm gonna start glowing like Bruce Leroy, and I'm sure enough gonna whoop your ass. I'm sorry, man. I'm ready to walk up out of there. Your child is not gonna disrespect me and talk crazy. I had a girl told me shut the fuck up, told me to shut the fuck up. I went off that day. She called her mom on the phone, had her on the speakerphone. I'm coming up to school. I said, bring your ass on up here. So at the time, the principal was a guy, we went to school with. And I told him, man, I hit him with the first name. I ain't say Mr. Stray. I said, Corey, I'm going to talk to this lady. You may not like it, but I got to talk to this lady in a way that she can understand. So she coming in, she yelling and screaming, why you call me? Yeah, she had the food. I said, ma'am, your daughter been written up 214 times this damn school year. Every teacher in here that called your daughter, talk about your daughter. Man, I done called you about your daughter. I'm tired of calling you. You're not going to do anything about the situation because you haven't. I said she should have been suspended 4 times this year. She always in school suspension. Man, I'm tired of talking to you. I said, your daughter can tell, your 12-year-old daughter, she was in 6th grade. Your 12-year-old daughter can tell you shut the fuck up all day, every day. But what your 12-year-old daughter would not do to me is tell me shut the fuck up. If she tell you shut the fuck up, I could care less. But she will not tell me shut the fuck up. And I told her, like, if you cool with that, be cool with it. But your daughter will get told to hell off. Because one thing I used to tell them all the time, Y'all can go down that street to that gas station and be talking to somebody crazy. They're not gonna have the same restraint or compassion that the teachers here have, because you don't know what a person going through. You might be that one straw that break the camel's back, and they go off and snap and beat your little ass because you talking crazy or you stepping to them crazy. They're not gonna see you as a child. I said, you don't understand what people's mindset is. So you can't go around talking crazy to everybody and disrespecting people and thinking you're not gonna get something back. You know, they kill me always talking about no filter, but when you say something about their ass or you go off on them, oh, I'm just a child. You can't talk to me like that. Well, you need to stay in the child's place in the first place. You don't do that. Like that's the worst thing in life. Like a lot of my time, Junior, was teaching them just manners. Like you don't come to somebody's desk and just grab shit. And that shit used to kill me. Like, damn, your parent never taught you that. You don't come in my personal space talking crazy. Like, you don't do that. That's just life. Just me being an adult. Like, you know, I take from Mr. Granson, he's always tell us like, it's some, you know, everybody's not smarter than you, they're just older than you, but you still show respect. You know what I'm saying? You don't come talking crazy to me and thinking that I'm not gonna do anything. Like, I'm a human too. I'm not a robot, you know, and the things that I'm trying to teach you will help you more in life. You know, and I spend a lot of my time teaching the middle school kids just about life things, you know, things you don't do. You don't go up to nobody talking about you gonna slap the bitch out of them and thinking they're not gonna react to you. Because you know, for every action is a multiple reaction. So it's like they didn't understand that. And like a lot of these parents will take time with that. They want to come, well, that's a child. You tell your child, you don't be talking to adults crazy. I don't give a damn. I am a teacher. You ain't gonna tell me shut the fuck up, or you're not gonna tell me you're gonna slap the bitch out of me and not get a reaction out of me. And you're a child. I don't have kids of my own, so why I'm gonna let your child talk crazy to me? He can talk crazy to you all day, but and one thing for sure, ain't nobody child gonna talk crazy to me. Shit.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact, bro. It's over with. I'll fuck your kids up for you.
Yeah, I will too. And I think we live in a time where we went from it takes a village to don't say shit to my child.
Mm-hmm.
We went from, you know, I know my child acting bad. I know my child acting bad, but I don't say nothing about it. You know, like at the tutoring place I work at, this little boy jumping and kicking the wall. Mama sitting there ain't saying nothing. I'm like, damn. But as soon as somebody go over and say something, then you want to get mad. Like, you see this little goofy motherfucker kicking the wall, you know you don't kick the wall. Tell me to sit this little punk ass down before I knock the fucking Fortnite out of his ass. You know, it's like, damn. Before I knock all that blue Powerade out of his little ass, man. Like, what happened to that? What happened to disciplining your child? Take responsibility. You tell him, and then sit your ass down. What you doing jumping on the wall? What the fuck is wrong with you? You got home training. Just, you know, that didn't fly. Well, my mom, that did not fly. Let me go jump in the wall. And I'd have had she'd have beat my ass, man, for doing some shit like that. Like, this motherfucker jumping and kicking the wall. Like, really?
Yeah, it's a fact. You be out of your damn mind. It's funny because my daughter brings some of that shit home. You know, she sees kids doing certain things at her school, and then she comes home and she got to come bring it and do the litmus test with that shit. That shit don't be working. They don't be working out for her. You know what I mean? Don't be working out for her. Because I mean, it's 2019. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere else, but it's 1976 up in this bitch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It just amazed me, man. Just being in education and seeing like some of the things, man. It killed me with, oh, he's a kid. You don't talk to a kid like that. Well, your 12, 13, 14-year-old child should be, you know, telling me shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Talking about what you're gonna whoop my ass or walking to me in a threatening manner. Regardless of end of the day, how educated I am still a nigga from Westwood. I will beat your little ass, man. Like, I ain't playing that, you know. And we had a teacher, he got in multiple fights. He got in 5 fights with kids, man. Boy stole on him, boy headbutted him. You know, he's a little guy, so they thought they could take him. And then what they don't be understanding is like, man, some cats may be little, but they still got that grown man strength. It's just gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of them boys don't be understanding that. I know a lot of them boys, I'm probably the only black male they see on a regular basis, only male they see on a regular basis. Yeah, you may run your house, but when you here, you don't run this. You know? And talking to me and walking up on me like threatening is not gonna scare me. For real.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Junior, I'm about to end the podcast. I appreciate you coming on my show. This is the brother I told you sparked the idea for the No Apology podcast. Um, we had a discussion. That's the name. This is the episode number 54 of my No Apology podcast. The Dre Clark Comedy Invasion presents the No Apology podcast. 54 is entitled The Discussion, because me and his brother had a discussion about what Killer Mike said, and it led to a lot of different things, talking about public schools, talking about talking about public schools, talking about just kids nowadays. We're talking about just how a lot of black people don't support their own stuff or love their own things, and it led to a bunch of discussions we had. This brother worked in higher education. I worked in primary, secondary education, and you see the differences. And just be, it's just a discussion amongst friends, because I've been knowing this brother for a long time. We played football, on the D line for Middledale High School. When I was in Middledale, from my sophomore to my senior, I never lost to a city opponent. So I don't know what that feel like. I know Buchanan did, but 96, but 95, we never lost to a city opponent. But yeah, his brother, we played on the D line together. I've been knowing him for years, man. Good dude. I mean, he tried to slide in there about the media room. You baller when you do shit like that. You got media rooms instead of just TV room. And I appreciate him for coming on my show, Big Cal. You got anything to say to the people?
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm honored, man, to come on here, man. I'm expecting big things, man, from the No Apologies podcast and the Dre Clark Comedy Invasion, man. I think it's important that I say this: when you see this brother out here working, man, you support, man. When he has shows and stuff that pops up, support, man, because man, he's doing it now, and he does it in a full-time capacity. You know what I'm saying? When you go to book him for your events and so on and so forth, fucking pay the man. You know what I'm saying? Pay him. Don't tell him he got to give you the family discount, or your auntie is his godmama and all that kind of stuff. Pay the man. You understand?
Your auntie go make me a peach cobbler, sweet potato pie. Nah, we ain't doing that.
Right. Pay the man.
And
just support, man. We especially those of us, you know what I mean? I know his show is global. You know what I'm saying? I know it's people everywhere. You understand? But just show love, show support. And if you support him enough, man, he'll probably be able to come and do shows and do work in your area, man. I know you get a lot of following, you get a lot of traction in like Philadelphia and Pennsylvania and all that kind of stuff, man. So just show love and show support, man. Like I said, man, because the dude is incredible. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know what I mean? And his comedy is authentic. It's something about, in comedy and really in the world, people just like authenticity, man. So it's different when you see authenticity, you know what I mean? Regardless of what you think about it or what kind of, production and smoke and mirrors you're looking for, I'm looking for authenticity. And he's definitely authentic. So definitely expecting a breakout year for you, in 2019. So I appreciate it. Y'all be sure, man, if you're interested in engaging in conversations with me or whatever the case may be, or, especially boxing fans or whatever the case may be, I've kind of tried to transcend my platform. I've gotten a lot of pressure from my colleagues and some of my clients to create a platform that's specific with regard to education and consultation. So I do have 2 YouTube channels now. The first one is indeed Junior the Truth. Junior the Truth is basically addressing sports and culture. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that goes on. So I do every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do the Punch Junkie Morning Show. That is basically specifically about the sport of boxing. Every Thursday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Thursday nights. I do the All Hustle No Luck live cast. That is specifically about social issues. I'm going to go berserk. I'm actually probably going to delay my show tonight so that I can go to Dre Clark's comedy show. But speaking of which, man, you got to pull up that comedy show for the people that might be able to make it tonight that hear this. But I'll probably push it back probably to tomorrow and just do Friday. But it's normally Thursday nights, 9:00 p.m. I'm going to talk about CeeLo Green, hoe ass, and Whoopi Goldberg's self-hating ass and all that shit, man. I'm gonna go bananas in there. And then also, but I did launch, like I said, the new platform, which goes with my blog site, because I blog as well. And it's Simply Calvin Jr., SIMPLY Calvin, CalvinJR. So it's simply Calvin Jr. You can find me on YouTube, and you can also go to the blog site, www.simplycalvinjr.com. And then you can also visit juniorthetruth.com. But I'm definitely out here, man. And you know, I'm not difficult to find. And all else fails, man, you can go to social media and find me.
Also, you might have to talk about Jason Whitlock, Uncle Tom ass. He talking shit again, man.
He talking shit
again. He talking shit again. That's all I'm saying, man. I can't stand the dude, man.
And don't go into it. That's a whole nother show, man. That's a whole, make them come back for that one.
Yeah, they'll come back for that. I'm gonna talk. I might talk about it next week, but man, he's man. Some cats, man. I don't understand, man. Like I said, man, a lot of people, black people, just hate themselves. Man, white folks did a job on us. I'm trying to tell you, slavery. They did a job on us because you got a lot of black people just hate themselves. Just hate themselves. Just hate anything, you know. So he one of them. So it's a bunch of them, but he one of them, man. I don't know what CeeLo did, but I'm interested. I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, man.
Yes, indeed. Well, and I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, and always, man, you know, Junior plugged his thing. Go ahead, you know, follow, subscribe, you know, share stuff too. You can always hit me at on Facebook, Dre Clark, the No Apology Facebook page, the No Apology Podcast Facebook page, the Dre Clark Comedy Invasion Facebook page on Facebook. You can also get me at Big Bad Dre 77 on Instagram. Also at Dre Clark Comedy at Someone Had to Lose on Twitter. Follow the YouTube channel, man. I subscribe to it. I got some, you know, I do some voiceovers and stuff. I ain't on Tony Baker level yet, but I'm here. Also, hit me up if you want, you've heard me, you want to do a show. Hit me up at andreclarkcomedy@gmail.com. Email me. I also got a show tonight in Springboro, Ohio. If you around the area, come on out. It's at the Barrel, starts at 8:30. It's a great comments on there. I'm the only brother on there. Affirmative Action is live and well. Also, the February 11th at the Dayton Funny Bone, I'm hosting the show with Shooter King, internet, you know, sensation. He does a lot of internet things. I'm hosting Raymond Jackson, a comic from here. I'm gonna have him on the show here in the future show. He's the feature. I'm hosting. It's gonna be a good night of laughs. You know, like I said, I'm doing a show on the 16th. It's a private show, but the dude Tony Parker I grew up with, man, nigga house bad, man. Man, that nigga. I'm saying I'm doing the show at the nigga's house. That should let you know right there. I'm doing the show at the nigga's house, in his basement, in his house. That should let you know right there. It's some baller shit. It's on some big cow shit. You know, when you talk about media rooms and shit, you know you balling. You know you balling. You ain't talking about going in the room with the TV in it. You talking about media rooms, you balling. But as always, man, I thank Junior the Truth for coming out and, you know, being on my show, being a guest. I've been on this show, this podcast. I don't know. Do you do the In the Zone podcast anymore?
Yeah, I still do the In the Zone podcast, man. I tried to give it a facelift, man, but we'll be back in action, man. We'll be back in action on the Original Zone podcast.
The Original Zone podcast. I've been a guest on there before. Like I told you, it's the brother that got me, that sparked the idea of the No Apology podcast. This is episode 54, and I've been rolling. Hey, man, any last words for the people before we go?
Man, I appreciate it. Just so support and show your love.
And as always, man, we are out.